out of here. Everybody. There's no audio in the courtroom yet. Prayer Eve, servant of God. Thank you for the 14 months. Says thanks for the coverage. Verdict time, man. Y'all ready? Everybody. Lisa, what are you thinking, man? What are you guys thinking? We're back in here, baby. Back in the house. You guys ready? We're on. Let me pause this non-functional timer. There's the family. All right, man. Here we go. Moment of truth. It's coming. Let me stop this timer. Oh, yeah, if you guys could hit the like button again, I'd appreciate that. Thanks. Oh, let me tag people on Discord to let everybody know for people that left. We got audio.
Before they come in, did you actually sign up for what you were saying you were going to sign up for?
I did.
Okay. Two dozen roses.
Oh, yes. Team player.
You're going to need them.
That's pretty quick. I thought, okay, doesn't quick usually mean guilty? I thought, or no? Isn't like a quick verdict usually guilty? Anybody in the chat know about that? 2 hours and a couple minutes. I know what this means to you. It's guilty. I might have to do a shot if it's guilty. Let me get it ready. We'll go to a shot if it's guilty. If it's guilty, we do a shot. Okay, don't spill this shit. You know, iCkEdMeL, you don't have to drink for a verdict. Somebody left me a comment earlier talking about you and your watchers making fun of melanated witnesses that were calling them pimps. Somebody left me a comment like that earlier. They said they were watching for 2 years. I'm like, I've never once seen that person.
Silence all phone.
What? I'll see if I can find the comment again.
$1 million.
Oh, yeah, no, she did it. That is unprofessional. She's usually guilty, right?
One of these days we're going to go past this.
Fast can't be guaranteed as guilty. Can't be guaranteed, but is there like, I thought like statistically, you're gonna have a shot too. Darkest Gooner, I'm gonna have a shot of vodka. All right, let's do it. I got vodka. I wonder what the numbers are statistically about that. Yeah, it's true. That's true. Sherlock, you're right. The judge just did Dr. Evil. She did Dr. Evil. The judge, she was like, $1 million. All right.
You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court has received your jury verdicts. All right. Ms. Dykes, please stand.
Oh, God, here we go.
The jury verdicts read as follows. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, guilty of murder as charged in the indictment. For the second case, we, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, guilty of tampering with physical evidence as charged in the indictment. Both verdicts are signed by the presiding juror, and the name is also printed. You may be seated.
Salud!
Is this ready to proceed in punishment?
Move it, Clerk Shop.
You may.
Let's go, baby. I was worried. I was concerned. I really was. Wow. Amazing. I'm happy for the family. Nice. I'm really happy for the family because I was honestly worried. I really was concerned.
All right. Before you call, well, oh, there's Mr. Settler. Mr. Settler, if you could hand the jury back their notes, books, and things, if they want to take notes on punishment.
So when are they going to do the sentencing now too? And make the impact?
All right. All right, call your first witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Luis Botello.
Wow, impact statements. Wow, this is going to be...
All right, sir, if you would please stop and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You may be seated. You may
Oh,
proceed.
oh,
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Botello, can you state your name and spell your name for the court, please?
My name is Luis Botello-Valdez, Luisbotello-Valdez. Your Honor, may I have a picture, please?
You may.
And Luis, will you tell the jury your relation to Marisela?
Marisela was she was my older and my only sister that I grew up with in our apartment over in Seattle, Washington.
And how old are you, Luis?
I'm 20 years old.
And Marisela would have been 25 now?
25, 26, around that age.
You said you grew up with her in that apartment, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was she like as an older sister?
She was the sister that I've always the best sister I could have asked for, that my parents blessed me with, and sadly she's no longer with us anymore.
Growing up, you guys have lived in that same apartment for your whole life, is that right?
That's right.
And it's a fairly kind of small size apartment.
That's correct.
Your parents are very hardworking people, aren't they?
Without a doubt.
Your dad's had the same job for, what, 25 years?
25 years now, recently, 25 years.
Tell the jury about your sister, what she learned from your parents.
My sister definitely, she learned how to, my sister definitely adapted the dedication, the hard-working mentality that my parents always showed us growing up. She She was always working. She was a she would always she would always stay involved in healthy activities, sports throughout her middle and high school career, high school years. She'd just always just be this just amazing, just great vibe you could be around.
Luis, I want you to tell the jury, there was a time that your sister, she got her first job when she was about 15, is that right?
That's correct, around that age.
And was she working at Wendy's with your mom?
That's correct.
And you were how old at that time, about 12?
12 years old, around that time. Yeah.
Okay. Is that about the time that most kids are starting to get cell phones and things like that?
Yeah, everyone in my class would always have their cell phones. I was like the only kid in my entire classroom that didn't have a cell phone.
Did you ask your parents for one?
Too many times.
To the point that they were done with that question, right?
Yeah, they made it very clear that they probably weren't going to buy me a maybe.
And tell me what, and that was because they really couldn't afford it at that time, is that right?
That's correct.
What did your sister do?
So, I was coming home from, I think I was playing some basketball with my friends right down the street. And I seen she was walking with a little Metro PCS bag. I thought she purchased a phone for herself. I didn't know what it was. And I went up to her and I asked her, well, what phone did you get? I forgot what she told me, to be exact. We both go upstairs into the apartment, and she pulls out this little Samsung phone. She told me, this is for you. She gifted me my first ever personal cell phone.
And that was from her first job when she was 16.
Yes, ma'am.
How does she look out for you now that you're old? So you are 20 years old now, is that correct?
That's correct.
And Marisela was taken from you when you were 17, is that right?
That's right.
What kind of influence did she have on you in your high school years?
So obviously at that time she already graduated high school. She always, before I started my freshman year, my sophomore year, she always told me, just stay focused in your classes, stay involved in activities after school, because that's what she did herself. She always wanted me, to just stay on the top of my class so I could build that mentality, have a working mentality that would just help me with my future career. So I feel like that's what she just wanted me to have, a good working mindset overall.
And you're currently working, right?
That's correct.
And you're planning on going back to school?
I'm thinking on joining a trade school.
Trade school?
Yes.
Tell the jury what it's like day to day now that you don't have your cell
phone. Growing up with a person that basically that's the only person you can kind of relate to, because she's the only because that was the only person that was closest to my age. Obviously, I had my friends, but every day I had that person who I could just kind of talk to, just have those conversations you typically kind of don't have with your parents. Just kind of, it's a lot of things I could connect with her, since she was the closest to my age in that household.
And how is your mom handling and dealing with the loss of your sister?
The way I see my mother handle this tragedy that happened to us, it's the way I see my mom every day doing her best as being the loving mother that she's always been. She's always taking care of us despite of us losing our sister, their firstborn child. The fact that all of this happened, herself and my dad, I don't even know how to explain myself. They find a way to keep pushing forward, to continue on with their lives, despite of this tragedy happening to us.
That's what you try.
Oh, I was gonna say the defense gets this thing.
Thank you, sir. You may stand down. Please watch your step.
So this is like the penalty phase thing. It almost seems like an impact statement. I mean, I don't know if the family's gonna come back on, and I guess they're using this to decide the penalty, like the sentencing, how long, what kind of sentence they're gonna give Lisa. So, but I don't know if this is like a 2-in-1 where they're just gonna do it one time, or they're gonna have to have it come back again. I don't know. She was found guilty, yeah. I'm ecstatic. Guilty on all charges, yeah. I was really worried,
Ladies and
actually.
gentlemen of the jury room, we're going to send you back. Jury, I think I called you ladies and gentlemen of the jury room. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we're going to send you back to the jury room. We need to find an interpreter.
Okay.
So there's a couple running around the building. We'll find them. But we'll be in recess until we do.
All right.
Please remember your instructions.
So, I guess the mother and father, they only speak Spanish. So I guess they're going to have to go find an interpreter. Yeah, the verdict came in already, man. You guys blinked. It's already in. I'm really ecstatic about this because I was kind of concerned a bit if, the prosecution did enough. Only one time. So, BL, I guess this is almost like a 2-in-1 type of thing, right? It's kind of like you're almost like a victim impact. It kind of is, I guess. Maybe it's just the same thing. I don't know. Because I'm just used to because there's like questioning going on here, right? I'm used to they just come up and they either read from something or they express how they feel and that's it. But in maybe Texas, they do it differently, or I don't know. The jury decides the sentence? Oh, snap. For real? I can rewind it real quick if people want to see it.
On the record, but Mr. All right.
Hey, your way around the courtroom, right?
Oh, I was way earlier. My bad. Forgot watching that.
Let's silence all phone. $1 million.
Oh, hell no, Judge. All right. So they call the jury back in.
And the name is also printed. You may be seated. Is this ready to proceed in punishment?
Move it, first shot.
You may. Back there, books and things. All right. The whole
wait.
truth and nothing but the truth, so help.
Did I miss that?
Jury, the court has received your jury verdicts. All right. Ms. Dykes, please stand.
It was so quick.
The jury verdicts read as follows. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, guilty of murder as charged in the indictment. For the second case, we, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, guilty of tampering with physical evidence as charged in
It
the
was capital
indictment.
murders, I said.
Both verdicts are signed by the presiding juror, and the name is also
Okay. So now we go back to life. So now, I don't know how long it's going to take them to find a translator, but there's a lot of Spanish people out there in Texas. Sure they can find somebody that's employed over there. They didn't poll a jury. I noticed that. Yeah, they didn't do a poll in the jury. They didn't do capital murder. I thought the charges were capital murder, unless they brought it down to murder. I know. I wish we could see her facial expression. Oh, they have to be a licensed translator for the courts. That's true. I don't think it'll take long. Looks like they're already coming back in. That's it for Lisa, man. Lisa. It's over. And she kind of doesn't look like she has much of an expression on her face. And things have come around full circle. All the years that it took. The botched investigation that Ramirez made some mistakes.
Presence in hearing of the jury. Ms. Dykes, you are still under oath. Mr. Harris, was there anything you wanted to get on the record?
Yes, go ahead and stand for me, Ms. Dykes. The jury having found you guilty, you understand that I anticipate that the state is about to rest, which means that we have an opportunity to call more witnesses during this phase of trial. And it will be your opportunity to also testify if you chose to. Do you want to testify during this portion of the trial?
No, sir.
Okay, and you understand you have absolute right to testify, absolute right not to testify.
I do.
And no one, myself included, can force you to testify. Can't keep you from
Hey,
testifying.
beautiful disaster.
You made the decision whether or not you're going to testify. Okay, and that is you're not going to testify.
Yes, sir.
No, she's not going to testify. Which I don't recommend she does. Nothing else you can say.
I have no question.
Tracy, thank you for the 20 months. Punishment phases for death / chance parole.
Mr. Harris, do you plan on calling any witnesses?
No, Judge, I anticipate we're going to rest.
I am working on the charges right now.
Okay. Did you want to make sure you include certain action in there?
Well, I can't.
Their witness specifically said she was in a daze and she acted in a rage. That's what he said. That's evidence toward that sudden passion.
Oh,
If you believe him, that's exactly what he said.
Huh. Trying to sneak in a charge, a lesser
She
charge.
was in a rage. She came in the room in a rage. She was in a daze. What did I do? What did I do? That's sudden passion.
I know. Yes, but I believe that has to. She denied doing anything. So
But they didn't believe her. They didn't believe her. If the jury could still, I want to be clear. I thought I turned that off, Judge. I'm sorry. I want to be clear what his testimony was and the version that he gave that this jury actually bought is that she came in a rage and killed this woman and continued to be in a rage until he stopped her, slammed her against the wall. So she's again acting under sudden passion at her house.
all right. Well, I will consider that. So we'll be at recess for 5 minutes while I discuss.
Judge.
He's really trying. That boy is really trying. Sudden, what do they call that? Sudden moment of, in the heat of the moment, passion kills him. And the judge was like, "Well, your client claims they didn't do it, but yeah, but they believe him. That's what he said." Yeah, he's trying to put that in after they said guilty. Crime of passion, yeah. All of a sudden, she recalls being in the room, right? Anna says, "Please catch us up." Well, they gave her a guilty verdict on all charges, and we heard so far. I don't know if you can call it an impact statement, or we heard the Marisela's brother testify, and now we're waiting for translators so the mother and father Marisela can speak. So right now we're waiting on the punishment / sentence, and I guess she's writing up the charges. You missed the last few days? Lord! Charm girl, thank you for the 8 months. I missed the last few days. Is it worth going back and watching her testimony? Lisa, yeah. I think it's interesting, yeah. I timestamped it. You can, yesterday and today, I put a timestamp for Lisa. You just go to the live stream and it's a timestamp. You can skip to it. Wow. I mean, I guess that attorney's doing his job, right? I guess he's trying to, like, get whatever he can get. I mean, you know. And Nina's next. But it's just going to be for tampering. Go ahead and Cambodia. I think if it wasn't for Chuck, they might have not got that guilty verdict. Snickerdoodle, thank you for the 7 months. Happy holidays, Mel, mods, and chat. Thank you. Hope you're doing good. Thank you for resubscribing. Appreciate it. I think they're going to do the sentencing too. Yeah. Yeah, Lisa's testimony I think it's worth it, yeah. Chuck was too, yeah. Chuck was good. Yep. Oh, yeah, I wonder if Nina will plead guilty or take a deal, or I don't know. She knows it's coming for her. It's not good. It's not looking good for her. Once Lisa went down, the dominoes are falling. Nina has a plea? That's it, man. Se acabó. Yeah, I'm really happy. Praise God, justice for Marisela. All right.
You may be seated. The jury will give unanimously both verdicts seated.
Salud!
Is this ready to proceed in punishment?
Amazing. That's a good clip, Luffy. That's all I needed. They posted on Twitter so the people of Twitter know. The world of Twitter. Lisa Dykes. Guilty of murder and tampering with evidence. I thought it was a corpse or whatever, but it says tampering with evidence, this article. Okay. I'm happy, man. It's been years. It has been years. And these people came for me a little bit too. Sent me a cease and desist. They mentioned it during a trial. Video cannot be processed. I guess I have to render it myself then. They have the mic off, so we can't hear anything in the courtroom right now. Right now, she's figuring it out. I think she said the charges. Maybe they're arguing it back and forth, and then also we're waiting on translators. Mama's love. Gotta be careful, mama's love. Never let go, mama's love. Oh, mama. All mama wanted to do was love you. Mama's love. Sugar mama. Valerie Baston and Heath Harris. So I'll tell you, Valerie was weak. Throughout the entire trial, she was kind of weak. Heath was bringing the heat. I know a lot of people don't like Heath, but he was bringing the heat throughout the trial. He made an effort to do his job for his client. Valerie was kind of like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait. What was the movie you mentioned yesterday about the end of the world? I don't know. I know I was talking about the Ma movie, whatever they call that movie, but the end of the world movie on Netflix? I don't know. Lover boy. Don't start, Mo. Mama's love. They were your lawyers? What? Lambo? Lickety, split. That'd be a nice video to add. I can do the cease and desist and then add the murder charge. Put it on my Instagram as a plaque on the wall. Maybe I'll do that sometime. Harris never wins his high profile cases, really? Yo, we do need a Lisa Mel Lisa. Oh. That's true. Getting text messages from the people that from friends that have been invested in this thing for years. Guilty. Mel BBL. Santa Lisa Muerte. I think Harris has already been watching when they used that picture that I had in my thumbnail during the trial as evidence. So I was like, oh, they're definitely watching. I mean, I don't know how much they've watched. They probably seen like the deep dive videos. That's where I got the cease and desist. And maybe I think this on my recent cease and desist video. You know, yeah, her lying. Yeah, maybe she should have just admitted to the relationship with Chuck. And I guess maybe she figured if she told me it was just business, that maybe they'd be like, oh, there's no reason to kill him. The Lisa tattoo thing. So the thing on her back. Let me download it. BL took a screenshot of the tattoo on Lisa's back. Now, I thought this was Santa Muerte. It still kind of looks like Santa Muerte to me. But I reached out to a friend, and a friend told me it's called something. Oh, sundial. It's a Mayan, Aztec Mayan thing. You guys can tell me what you think. This thing, I don't know. It looked kind of ghoulish, demonic. I don't know, but I don't know. Is that a sundial? Jesus. And let me show you what the sundials are. Sundial, Mayan. The Mayan sundials. I mean, those sundials look a little creepy too, though, so I don't know. I don't know. It looks like a skull surrounded by sundial. It's peaceful. It's a peaceful skull. It's an artifact. I don't know. I mean, they got some sundials look a little. Yeah, believes it's similar to this Santa Muerte, the religion of Christ. Santa Muerte. They say Santa Muerte is closely related to Catholic religion somehow. But staff said, I feel like we've seen way too much of Lisa's body on this trial. No problem, Brandy. Santa Muerte, man. Well, they only got the right to practice their stuff. The religion of love. Squeaky wheel. Isn't that funny? How all this shit's come full circle? Mm-mm-mm. Santa Muerte. Let's leave a little about Santa Muerte.
Who do we have here above everything? Here's
Who
the
is
Bible. Right here we have the blood of Christ.
That Jesus?
Yeah, that's Christ. So
So-
what that's showing is that the day that Christ died, she's holding him up and she's taking him back to Jesus.
It represents you.
Yes.
And you put a needle in their head.
Yeah, you're gonna put a needle in the head. So say you're sitting there thinking about yourself, you would put a needle into your mind to help quiet your thoughts. I feel we have free will. Oh, the little
What's
thing.
going on over there?
And
Let
trust in
me
that.
ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Are you here to get informed with this? Or are you trying to inform us in something?
Well, yeah. Well,
You're
because
very confrontational is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
we're about to go out again, but we parked right quick. Look, check it out. We're just.
Here, what we tell is we try to do specifically Santa Muerte.
Wow.
So we do the Santa Muerte. What we're trying to do is we're bringing it out here so everyone sees what the Santa Muerte is about. A lot of people think like she's dark or she's this or she's that, but she's not.
She's not.
No, what she is. What,
She's not a demon.
No, she's not either. No.
Joe Pete, thank you so much, Lena. Thank you so much for the super chat. The 20 says, "Oh snap, Mel, go buy little gift for Maddie. Feeling the love and thanks from Lena and family, aka Bill's daughter. Thank you." Yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy about the outcome of the verdict.
So she's death. That's what she is.
Yeah, so she was one of the original archangels.
But she'll kill you.
No, what
No.
she does is whenever your time is and it's your time for you to
She
go.
will kill you.
No, then she just come get you because it's your time, right?
Death comes in through her, and she protects death as well.
No, she is death.
Oh, she's death. Okay. And so you said she's an archangel.
Yeah, I consider an archangel.
Okay.
So if you see them, like you see this one is a pregnant woman. What is
Okay.
she representing? As women, we bring life. What do we bring also? Death. That's why you see her face, the
Ain't that the truth?
life and the death.
Oh, okay.
Then you have also like this one. You see this one? This one's supposed to be in the perdón. So what's Santa Muerte saying? Like you're asking for forgiveness. Something happened in your life.
So you ask her for forgiveness.
Yeah, you're asking her for forgiveness.
She could forgive you.
Yeah. You see this one has San Judas, Tadeo, La Santa Muerte, y Malverde. So when you're looking at that, those are the people, like say you want to go to church, you want to go to this, you want to go to that, and you feel like
Who's
church
that
is
guy?
listening. That's Malverde.
Isn't that a cartel?
Yeah, that's what they show him as a cartel. They made him like the
Wow. I didn't know they
It's-
had like shops like this.
this-
You could just go in and, you know, I guess buy whatever you need.
If he hits your left cheek, you know, he said that. Like, that's what he said.
which verse it is in the Bible?
Yeah, I can bring it up. You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, I would like.
This is in the book of Matthew 5:38. You can write it down if you want to study that. The book of Matthew, chapter 5. It says, "You have heard." This is Jesus talking. That it was said, "An eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth." What you just said. You've heard that, right? And it says, "But I tell you not to resist an evil person, but whoever slaps you on your right cheek, turn the other
This
and
woman.
to him also. If anyone wants to sue you, take away your tunic, let him have your cloak also. And whoever compels you to go 1 mile, go with him too. Give to him who asks, and from him who wants to borrow from you, you do not turn away." So he's just showing us a greater way. What is that? Love. He's just
Oh.
telling us love. That is the highest thing that we should seek, not to get back at people, but to love.
The whole Santa Muerte is not about just getting back at people.
No, I was answering his because he
Oh,
said
okay.
about he doesn't want to go into violence. Me neither, bro. Look, I did enough of that. We should seek love. That's it. Because
But here's the thing: the Santa Muerte is still the way I feel like it's
And
still.
what is that right there?
love. Oh, that's when people leave their donations there in the little
Oh, okay.
donation jar.
so right.
So like, it's good and bad, I guess. You can do good or you can do bad or something. Somebody in the chat said it's called the disc of Michelante Chuleti. It's in the history. Maybe this looks more accurate to what Lisa might have on her back. That's true. Oh man, funny how Satan is in Santa Muerte. The words just moved around. All right, they said 5 minutes, but I guess they're figuring it out. Santa Muerte. What else we got? Must she sound like sacrifice? Or maybe I should. I don't know. Is that too much?
What's up, YouTube? Havically blessed, because that's what it is. We're blessed today. I'm blessed to be alive. I'm blessed to just, to be healthy, have family around me. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Whoever's watching this video, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you for the support. And
there's a lot of people that believe in it, though.
With you guys about a little thing that I went through. My experience started tripping out, and right away.
People really believe in, Santa Muerte. They say it's the fastest growing religion. Watch out for sudden pains. They mentioned the cease and desist that they sent to me during the trial. I'm going to post a clip later today. It's a deity. It's like people worshiping and praying to a sandwich. Psychic. Yeah, they're guilty. They got it guilty on all charges. Yeah, I need to add Santa Muerte to that list. I know. Imagine dating somebody that's into Santa Muerte.
Everybody, my name is Leslie. Today I'm going to make a video about Santa Muerte. I hold her very dear to my heart. Like, she is like my best friend, so I'm very excited to share this information with you guys. I actually wrote down on a notebook because I wanted to make sure that I remembered everything. So this video is going to be about things to know about Santa Muerte before working with her and the type of offerings that she likes, okay? So the things that you should know about Santa Muerte before working with her is, like, number one thing is be completely honest about what you're asking for. Be completely honest about why you're approaching her. Just be honest with her. If you want to work with her because you want to attract your mate, or you want to work with her just because, or because you feel called by her, then that's totally okay. But make sure that you communicate with her, because Santa Muerte, she likes for her children to be very honest with her. And regardless if you're coming to her like on a certain type of way, just know that she's gonna know. Like, she just knows, okay? So yeah, that's my number one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, people are really into the Santa Muerte. They were saying it's the fastest growing religion. I guess you gotta make offerings to it or something. You gotta offer money or whatever. Every religion claims to be the fastest growing religion, true. Serious. I imagine dating. That's not on my list yet. I haven't dated somebody into Santa Muerte. It's kind of, I don't know about that. And then imagine breaking up with that person. Shit. Be paranoid, man. Santa Muerte trial. Thank you, Astastic. Appreciate that. Male dating bingo. Still waiting on the sentence. They're taking a while. Give me 1 second. I'm going to turn on the AC. Hot in here. All right. I guess, I don't know. I guess it's kill time, I guess. Oh, the trial for this guy started. Damn, look at this guy in Bryce Rhodes. We were talking about him earlier. Holy moly, look at this guy's head. What happened to him? They have a shock
Your Honor, the
device on him.
call Anwan Carter.
Thank you.
I think he's being charged with murder of 3 people. Let me ask them. Has he been shocked yet?
Mr. Carter, as best you can, I need you to raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth and the whole truth? Thank you. You can have a seat.
Oh, they got me blocked over there.
Good afternoon. Can you introduce yourself to the jury?
My name's Anwan Carter.
And how old are you, Anwan?
Oh, he's one of the main witnesses.
Where do you live these days?
Florida deals.
And were you here in town in 2016?
I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing.
Not that
I
many people
understand
watching,
if you could
surprisingly.
just speak just a little bit louder.
For law and crime.
And that's, may I approach, Your Honor?
You may, yeah, you want to move the microphone. Thank you, Mr. Cunningham.
He hasn't been shocked? Oh, okay. There was somebody in one of the other comment sections saying that it's an abuse of his civil rights. That guy is nuts, though. He needs to be under lock. That's the only way, understanding he has. Yeah, I met some really nice people. Let me tell her. I'll text. I met some really nice people through this story that I would love to meet them one day. I don't know if it'll happen. Because eventually I want to come visit Texas. I haven't been to Texas. I was only there when I was like a kid. I think I went to maybe Six Flags or something in Houston or something like that. So I would like to go sometime just to meet some of these people. That'd be nice. I don't know why they blocked me. I think they just blocked me because I'm a YouTuber. Maybe they're afraid of they think other YouTubers are going to go in there and promote themselves. So, I don't know. Not sure why they blocked me. Yes, right? Let me text, all my exes live in Texas, like I'm Georgia straight. Oh, Michelle, yeah, I'd love to meet you. Where's the good places and the bad places to go? I heard Houston's a mess. Or maybe just overrated. And Texas is big as hell, right? I might have to fly over to different cities. I don't know. Nah, I wouldn't fly. Texas is a crazy state. I live here. I know, I heard. I gotta try some of the food out there too. Houston is a no, right? That's what I had a few people tell me. Careful with Houston. Austin, right? Austin is the place? Okay. Avoid Houston. I'm just kidding. I mean, I've had people tell me to be careful over Houston. I'm not doing CrimeCon, by the way, this year in Tennessee. I feel like it's just too short notice and money, like things, it's just so much going on with the holidays and stuff that when they gave, like last time, I feel like they gave a year's notice and I had plenty of time to like plan, do this and that and all that. Right now, I'm trying to be a little bit frugal just because of the holidays and everything until things kind of pick up more. So they're doing that CrimeCon thing on like, I think in May. It's like my birthday. It's just too much, I think, right now. Because CrimeCon, you're going to spend quite a bit of money. I don't know how much I spent. I spent quite a bit of money, though. You don't need VIP tickets, but staying at the hotel costs quite a bit. The ticket prices have gone up. You're going to need to eat. No, it's kind of, the price runs up really quick. Are you going to CrimeCon? Yeah, I'm not yet. And I think if I were to go, I would have probably brought my mother and daughter, and so my mother could watch Maddie. But I think it's just too short notice. Things will pick up in 2025. Damn, we got a long way to go. Oh, actually, you mean 2024? Or you talking about 2025? Don't leave your stuff in the car in Houston. My husband has been broken into twice. I've just heard like Houston's kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's gotten worse. I don't know if it's just like crime or whatever. But I do want to go because like, let's see. We just look at my analytics. Majority of my demographics, I think, is Cali. I'm gonna guess Cali first, Texas second, New York. Is it New York? New York third, Florida fourth. No. Florida third, New York fourth. Just a guess. Let me take a look. Analytics. Audience. We got some people in Canada, though. Canada and the UK. California, number 1. Texas, number 2. Florida, number 3. And New York, number 4. The last 28 days. Chicago. Yeah, where are you guys at? Nobody in Chicago's watching me. I wonder if I should try like sometimes mixing up the stories in different states. I wonder if that would grow the demographic, like more subscribers and viewers. If I like start once in a while cover one of the unpopular states on my list. Because I'm always covering like Cali, Texas, Florida. Not really New York that much, I guess. I am a Gemini. Usually when people hear that, they kind of like make a facial expression like, ugh. At the Erotica Expo. Train in Ventura. What is that? Come train in Ventura, yeah. That would be dope. I do want to go back there too. I haven't been since I went last year twice, right? Last year. I went twice last year and I had a good time. It's expensive. It's kind of expensive, but I had a good time though. Carly. Out of Detroit. There's not many Utah people watching me, but I have a couple of times upset the Mormons. Just kind of joking around. Sometimes I cover the Mormon stories. Sometimes they get a little upset. April said, I knew it, Mel, simply because of your random outburst and silly saying. I am kind of, yeah. Could you pre-play what the defense attorney said after the defense? He was arguing for like a crime of passion.
Indictment. Both verdicts are signed by the presiding juror, and the name is ready to proceed in punishment.
That was punishment.
Move it, Kershaw.
Here.
Is there anything you wanted to get on the record?
Yes, go ahead and stand for me, Ms. Sykes. Jury having found you guilty, you understand that I anticipate that the state is about to rest.
He gave her the option to testify, and she said no.
Those two. And you done,
Yes, sir. I have no question.
no, Judge, I anticipate we're going to rest.
I am working on.
We'll make sure you include sudden passion in there.
Sudden passion.
Well, I can't.
Their witness specifically said she was in a daze and she acted in a rage. That's what he said. That's evidence toward that sudden passion. If you believe him, that's exactly what he said. She was in a rage. She came in the room in a rage. She was in a daze. What did I do? What did I do? That's sudden passion.
I know. Yes, but I believe that has to. She denied doing anything. So
But they didn't believe her.
Bruh, she said she didn't do it, so now you're saying you're arguing, the sudden passion, the crime of passion?
They didn't believe her. If the jury could still, I want to be clear. I thought I turned it off, Judge. I'm sorry. I want to be clear what his testimony was and the version that he gave that this jury actually bought.
He's trying to add this after the fact, a different charge after they said guilty.
Is that she came in a rage and killed this woman.
I don't know if it's adding a charge or I don't know exactly what it is, but it's different from what we've heard.
And continued to be in a rage until he stopped her, slammed her against the wall. So she's again acting under sudden passion at her house.
All right. Well, I will consider that.
Which that could have been maybe an argument they could have made. I don't know. Maybe they could have argued that. Somebody said, what made me start covering the case? I don't know. I think it was kind of just honestly completely random. It was just random, and I don't think many people were covering it. And it just had a trickle effect because people started reaching out to me. I never intended it to be a deep dive. It just kind of more and more people started reaching out. And when they would reach out, I would kind of verify who they are to make sure they are, and, a lot of times they would show me screenshots or different things. One of the funny things that I found in my little archive was, but I had no idea either. It's crazy to think years ago, me just covering this. I was way smaller covering this stuff. That now in 2023, the end of 2023, almost 2024, we're seeing the verdict in the trial. I think I saved the screenshot. Where's that? I'm about to find it again. Here it is. It was like a blogger, and he gave details about Nina that I would believe only your guys and us will know. That is funny looking back at that. And then they're sending me a cease and desist saying I'm making it up at the same time. So yeah, no, I really appreciate the people that back then reached out to me and trusted me, like really trusted me, because some of these people, they said that I want certain things out. I'd always like get permission, what I could and couldn't put out, and I really think because of these people is what helped get the guilty verdict, and some of these people testified. So yeah, I had no idea that it was going to turn out to be this. And back then, I used to cover a lot of the time small stories, just kind of, and sometimes it just stopped there, and some of them kind of snowballed into something else. Mama. If you guys haven't seen that Ma movie, what is it called? Mama? I can't remember the name. We were showing it yesterday. I can't think of it. I don't think it was Ma, it was something else. I guess we'll see what's next after this. Damn. What is this?
How do you handle disruptive kids in class? Some schools are using controversial seclusion rooms.
Ooh.
Lisa Guerrero has our report, which we warn includes disturbing video.
Disturbing scenes like this are playing out in schools across the USA. Children being restrained.
Wait a minute, so does the teachers put them in there?
And shut away into small rooms. It's known as restraint and seclusion, a
prison
legal but controversial method for dealing with special needs students in crisis.
Oh, special needs students.
It's only meant to be used in extreme situations when a child is putting themselves or others in danger. But these parents say some schools are going too far.
His fight or flight instinct is so strong that if he feels threatened, he'll go all in.
Greg and Jennifer Fell say they were shocked to discover their son Peyton, who has behavioral issues from a rare brain tumor, was restrained and secluded in this room for over an hour at his school in Texas. In this surveillance footage obtained by Inside Edition, you can hear 12-year-old Peyton screaming as school staff hold him down, his hands behind his back. You see another staff member entering the room, eating a snack.
Damn, but we're eating chips and stuff, just chilling?
While Peyton, wearing a spit mask, calls out in distress.
I mean, I don't know what the solution is. Because, I don't know, this almost seems like they need to be in a medical facility or something. I don't know if I thought this was just like like the regular schools, but special needs, that's tricky. I almost think for the school it's a liability to do this type of thing, I would think. I mean, I don't know. I've seen some kids really reacting out. What do you do? But this is yeah. I wonder if their parents like signed something too, like a waiver. Like they got to know about this, right? Like,
this is incredibly disturbing to watch.
Very disturbing. I want to just go through that video and grab my kid and bring him home to safety.
The parents say this all started because Payton was spitting at a teacher, but they believe the school still went too far.
You're not saying that, my
so what is the solution, I guess?
child should never be restrained. You're saying there's a proper way to do this.
Absolutely. We are not the parents that say our kid's perfect. How dare you say he's done something wrong? We deal with things like this at home too. So we know what they have to deal with. Payton's disability cannot be scared out of him.
Payton's school says those employees no longer work there and they have retrained their staff.
Across the country, an estimated 2,300 students are restrained and put in seclusion rooms every day for misbehavior. Sometimes that offense can be something small, like throwing a pencil. Sometimes violent behavior is involved.
But are these methods really effective? Can they turn deadly? 16-year-old Cornelius Frederick threw a sandwich in a Michigan school lunchroom. Video shows employees restraining him for 12 minutes. 2 days later, Cornelius, who suffered behavioral issues, died in the hospital from cardiac arrest. The school's license was revoked, and 2 of the employees involved pleaded guilty to manslaughter.
It is a inhumane and barbaric practice.
Brian Colley is the former lieutenant governor of Michigan, a state with some of the highest numbers of restraints and seclusions in the country, over 90,000 since 2017.
That's pretty wild. You can't expect teacher, aides, and other students to be subjected to an out-of-control, dangerous child if your child is hitting, spitting, biting other. I mean, I agree. Well, I mean, it's kind of different because this is special needs. But in regular schools, I know some of these wild kids, I think they should be taken out because I don't think they should be allowed to run the classroom and abuse all the other kids. They should be taken out. But in this special needs thing, it's kind of difficult. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I have autism, and we had a seclusion room in one of my schools, though it was very different. It was covered with carpet and padding, and the only way you could lock the door is if someone pressed a button. So someone was always watching you the entire time. They used it to calm you down, and so they could talk to you about what happened. I don't think they ever restrained you. I had no idea they had that in those schools. Seclusion. It looked like solitary confinement. I didn't know. I had no idea in these the special needs school they were doing that. I know it is taking forever, right? The verdict. I mean, we got the verdict, but the sentencing really. Bobby said 5 swats from my old science teacher straighten you right out. I really do think this is a conversation that's come up a couple of times with the different stories we've covered. I think they should bring back asylums. I really think that some people, there just needs to be more regulations than it was back in the day. They should bring back asylums. I really do think they need that, a housing for people that are just completely like unstable and a danger to society, and it's only a matter of time before they go do a mass murder. They should be in, in a facility that'll try to. I mean, it's probably gonna be really costly, but I don't know. Let's see what else they got.
These are.
What else is going around the world? Oh wow, 42 years old died. That's scary.
Coming winter storm, those with campers may be concerned with keeping their RVs safe during these colder months.
A Pennsylvania television anchor has died. Emily Matson worked at Erie News Now for nearly 20 years.
I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Emily was a shining light in our newsroom, delivering news with the passion and love she had for the Erie community in Northwest Pennsylvania. The station said in a statement on its website, "We loved Emily dearly, and our hearts go out to the Matson family and her husband Ryan at this time."
Santos continues to refuse to engage about the inconsistencies in his background or financial disclosures.
Emily was ecstatic to be a fixture on TV where she grew up. Like many.
That's crazy. No cause of death yet. Oh no! So the cause of death was ruled as an unaliving. Like she did it to herself? Wow. Had taken her own life. Whoa, okay. I guess that's the latest update on that. Yeah, this is taking really long. I thought by now they would have had a translator and the charges. I guess Heath is trying to argue. No, I haven't followed. Hey, K Solo, I haven't followed that Hannah Payne trial. Isn't that the Vigilante trial? Vigilante? Isn't that the story where, like it was a traffic incident, right? Where somebody had cut off somebody. And so she goes, so what happened? Yeah, there was like some type of accident. I thought, right? And the guy has like a medical incident. He's literally having a medical, I don't know if it's sugar or something happened to him. He was literally in like crisis mode. So he leaves the scene of the accident. He starts driving and this chick chases him down, forces him to stop. I guess he tells her, "Hey, I'm having," and she just pulls out her gun, and shoots him. Is that Hannah? Oh, she was found guilty today? Chase the guy who left the scene of an accident. Diabetes. Yeah, that was too much, man, what that lady did. I read a little bit of an article, and I in my head, I'm like, this is open and shut. This lady's nuts. You know. Control freak. Somebody said you're all guilty. Wow. Come in and said, not true. What's the trial? Found guilty yesterday. She called 911. Operator told her to not follow him, and she did. Wow. Send me an email. Okay. we're waiting for a translator, and they're working on the charges, I guess. Many times restraint and seclusion is the only option to stop the behavior, because many times the behavior is a direct result of overstimulation. I remember my cousin, he's autistic. He can get very like overstimulated. Like you can literally see him like cover his ears if like there's too much noise or sounds or it's too loud, stuff like that. Hmm. Light side of the moon, what's up? That's been going on for a while. We're gonna have to come back again. All right, let's keep fine. I'll keep browsing in the meantime. Oh, so roads are still happening now. This guy's still testing.
I don't remember.
Oh god.
A whale in Australia has died after being stranded on a sandbar for several days. The public was kept up to date with the whale's progress.
Wasn't exhibiting normal behaviour. It's very unusual for a sperm whale to be this close to shore in metropolitan beaches.
The sperm whale was seemingly stranded on a sandbar off the beach near Perth, causing great concern.
It's never a good thing when we see a whale like this so close to shore and on the beach.
Estimates from the Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attractions say this whale was about 49 feet long and weighed over 30 tons.
And you can imagine that, all of that body weight squashing down on its internal organs. Normally this is an animal that's supported fully by the seawater, so that kind of compression is a very bad situation to be in, and it even reduces its health even further.
Crews from Parks and Wildlife Service, Western Australia, stayed at the beach overnight to ensure that people and vessels kept their distance from the whale. Experts say the whale appeared to be emaciated and that exposure to the sun...
Yeah, I thought about that, but I might do that for a separate stream. I don't really think too complicated. I think it can get its own stream, I was thinking. Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks. Bye. Jeopardy. Jesus. I know. I think that might be copyrighted. Okay. Okay. Maya Millette is the one with the guy who had the spellcasters do spells on his wife. Oh Lord. Protest on the 110 freeway. Do you know if is it being live streamed? Let's see. Let's check out the protesters. We got a feed for that? Is that Fox? Maybe Fox Los Angeles?
This is not the end. This is only the beginning, but we're going to vote no when it comes to this investigation, impeachment inquiry, but this is just the beginning. This is supposed to be held.
It's the Gaza protest?
This is supposed to be held at the highest levels, right? This is not a game. This is something that can make or break our democracy. When our institutions start falling apart, when people use what they can because they can. When I first got elected to...
That happened that I want Hunter Biden to get charged. Oh, it's already over?
Rally here on the southbound 110 freeway. This is for a permanent ceasefire in Israel. Now, you can see that line of folks out there, and they've basically shut down, not basically, they have completely shut down the 110 freeway out here in downtown Los Angeles, right about 3rd Street. Now, the California Highway Patrol, they're there, and they were basically keeping an eye on it. But the drivers, well, this is Los Angeles, and stopping the 110 freeway, tempers are starting to flare down there. You can see a lot of
drivers pissed off.
Emotions starting to explode. We actually saw a couple of fistfights just take place. The folks down there that are doing the protest, you can see them. They've got their arms locked. They've got the freeway completely shut down. But you can also see that the drivers out here, some motorcyclists and also just vehicle drivers, getting
I think JLR has live feed. I wonder where he's watching this from. I want to see the protest.
Now, the California Highway Patrol, they've taken a passive stance on this. You know what?
Oh, here we go. I think she
sent
it to me.
Out of it, but you can see what is going on. The drivers, they are just not having any part of it this morning. The backup, as I understand it, this has been going on for more than a few minutes out here. That backup, take a look at that. That's the 110 through downtown Los Angeles.
Where is JLR
the
watching
backup
this?
all the way to the 5 freeway right now, a complete standstill. A lot of folks getting out of their cars, coming up to the front and displaying their dissatisfaction about this situation. Now, we haven't seen anybody taken away in an ambulance as of yet, but we did see a physical altercation, at least one real fist fight that just broke out moments ago. Some of those motorcyclists just pushing their way
here we go, baby.
the
I got
lines.
it.
But as far
Let's
as the
go. Let's
cars
get the
go,
live
right
one.
now, California Highway Patrol, they're there on scene, but you can see the emotions flaring right there. These are drivers
that's
that are
not
just
live.
trying to get to work, trying
From an hour
to do
ago.
their daily business while this protest is going on. Again, trying to stay out of it, but this is one of those situations where no matter how right or wrong your protest is, shutting down a freeway, not a good idea. I'm Stu up in Skyfox. Back to y'all.
Stu, we're going to stay with you here. I'm trying to read what it says on some of the sweatshirts and shirts that these protesters have on. Do you have a better vantage point? It says permanent ceasefire there, equality, justice, safety for all on that sign. But on their shirts...
No, I think it's all over.
They move around.
Oh, this was at 9 a.m. So it's over already. Huh?
Not in our name.
Ceasefire.
Not in our name.
Ceasefire now. Yeah, not in our name. That's what the shirts are saying. That's probably the name of the group out there. But you can see that line basically just shutting down the entire freeway. How they got that accomplished, that's something that we weren't here when that was happening. But you can see the tempers flaring there. You
hours
see
ago.
a bunch of folks. These are people that are getting out downtown Los.
Wow, the traffic's all blocked.
How you even go about that process.
Starting to take these protesters into custody. Positive. You just never really know when we arrive on.
Way.
Definitely, and that's part of our our repertoire.
We do have Chelsea on the way too, Stu. So hopefully when she gets there or anywhere close to that vicinity.
They're stuck in something like that with no idea.
Nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go, no idea when it will be resolved, no idea when.
Keys in there so we can move it off the freeway and or the freeway. That's going to be a few moments in itself, and I would.
Guess that's over already. Let me see if they say anything in the chat. The punishment phase is expected to continue shortly. Okay, taking forever though. Damn, they arrested over 70 people. Wow. Amazing. face. Let's see what you tagged me in. 2 school buses full of children were stuck on the 110 for over an hour. Wow. Wednesday morning, roadway protest calling for a ceasefire on Hamas. Man,
tow truck.
Oh, not the kids, not the school kids. School bus.
Are going to be needed to get these some of these cars at least off of the freeway now, and you can see school buses. We don't know if there's any children on those school buses right now, but certainly if there are, they are very late for school because there's simply nothing that could be done. It's difficult to tell. SkyCal doing their best job to look in and see. I don't really see any movement in there. There's definitely kids on that bus. I saw a small head pop up. So at least 2 school buses are full of children very late for class today because of this protest. Not to mention the hundreds of motorists that are still stuck on the 110 southbound through downtown, all very likely trying to get to their places of business or where they needed to go this morning. And still many CHP units on the freeway still have to turn around and get out of there. But maybe some good news here. Our first images now of at least 3 lanes of the southbound 110 I count.
Wow, what a mess earlier today. Really wonder what the judges are talking about. People are tired of these people blocking the roadways. We're sick of it. You see? Oh, Lord. I'll be careful. I don't know. Let me just scan it real quick, because if they show fighting, I can't show like physical altercations. Let me just. Oh, that's okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, these people are pissed. People, they just. Oh yeah, I guess I can't show this. They were pissed. Somebody got thrown on the ground. I'm sorry for the tease. Get the hell out of the way, I'm going to work. Oh shit, great. Nuts.
Are in violation of blocking the freeway. You are hereby ordered to immediately leave the area within anywhere off of the roadway portion for pedestrian traffic. If you do not leave this area, you will be subject to the physical arrest and detention. If you resist moving from the area or fail to submit to the arrest, necessary force is a member in the arrest.
Damn, I didn't know it was that crazy today. I saw a walkabout tagging me earlier in it, but I had no idea this what was going on. I've always been kind of like against the blocking traffic. I just feel like there's so many dangers to that, but oh, excuse me. Man, I don't know how much I can stall out. Or if we should just come back when they're ready. Oh, interesting. Lionel Dahmer, father of killer Jeffrey Dahmer, dies 7 days ago. Very interesting. Kind of interesting. This dad has had his back the entire time.
Jeffrey Dahmer has
died.
Or
been supportive, I mean.
Reports say Lionel Dahmer died in hospice care in Ohio.
Thank you.
He was 87. Lionel was a fierce defender of his son, even after his crimes were discovered. He even appeared alongside Jeffrey in a jailhouse interview with MSNBC.
This is the first time you're talking about these things
I've talked with your dad here at great length with psychiatrists, court-appointed psychiatrists, psychologists, but not with my family.
We learned everything at the trial and in the confessions and that sort of thing after the fact.
Lionel and his wife Sherry spoke with Dr. Phil about some of.
It would be dope as hell. I wonder if I should reach out to Teabag and see if he can make a Saint Lisa, a Santa Muerte Lisa. How dope would that be? If I could like put her face on a Santa Muerte thing, that'd be gangster.
The disturbing behaviors Jeffrey exhibited as a child.
If your kid is going around collecting dead animals, cutting them open and exploring them and that sort of thing, that how do you not know that?
Well, as I said, it's heavily wooded, very rough terrain, and there are a lot of hiding places. He was extremely secretive.
In 1994, Lionel published a book titled A Father's Story that tried to make sense of his son's crimes. That same year, Jeffrey Dahmer was killed in a Wisconsin prison by a fellow inmate. A report says that Lionel Dahmer was. The COP28 summit is going on in Dubai, but visitors have the chance to breathe the air in other cities around the world by stepping into these pollution pods.
They're 3 interconnected geodesic domes, which each simulates the type of pollution that you would experience in a global city. So we have London, New Delhi, and Beijing. And when you go in, you smell the level of pollution in those cities and you experience the level of visibility or lack of visibility that you might experience when you go there.
Different sources of pollution include transportation, construction, and burning of biomass. This guest said it was quite an alarming experience.
It's so difficult to breathe. When you have a bit of clean air, you take it for granted. When you get a feel of what it is when it is really bad, then you definitely appreciate how much you should protect the environment.
Pollution pods, bro.
A sewage spill has closed an area of California beaches. As the waves crash, there are no swimmers or surfers along this stretch of the famous SoCal coastline. For safety, the waters between Laguna and Blue Lagoon Beach were closed on November 29th.
I remember I went to Cali and I was at the beach in the water. I'm trying to remember which. It was a nice beach. I forgot which beach it was. And I got out of the water and my feet, they were all like sparkly, like glistening. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. I was telling this chick that I was with. She goes, oh, that's oil. I'm like, oh. Oh, okay.
According to the Orange County Healthcare Agency's Environmental Health Division, a break in a main sewer line caused around 94,500 gallons of sewage to spill into the ocean. Because of the waste, residents and tourists have been cautioned to avoid the area. 2 days after the spill, the ocean closure was reduced, allowing some access to the water.
Homelessness, yeah. Man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the courtroom. How long? She lied and said 5 minutes. Can the judge be held in contempt of court? Oh, I think we're getting audio. I'm about to give up. I'm about to walk away. Your crown jug is over there. Finally. Jeez, bro, it took forever. That's true. Somebody said she's 60, so anything would be like a life. Chuck was already called to the stand. I'm going to change the title to one of my live streams where he testified, because I've had quite a few people asking when he testified, and I realized I don't think I had it in the title. Chuck or Charles Beltran testified. Somebody was telling me that I'm going to update that. So
We're ready.
All right, finally.
All right.
It's on day 2, I think. Let me see. No, it's not. Might be day 3. I'll see. There's just a... Huh.
You may be seated. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I apologize for the delay. We have been working diligently. Ms. Pittman, call your next witness.
Your Honor, the state at this time has no further.
You have a plan?
We would like to resubmit our case in chief, and with that, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the state rests its punishment case.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
All right,
Oh.
The court accepts your offer, and the jury is instructed that you may consider all of the evidence that was presented in the case in chief in the punishment phase. The state having rested, what says the defense in punishment?
Judge, the defense also just wants to re-urge the fact that we would like for the jury to be able to consider the testimony of Charles Beltran during the guilty and innocence phase, and that testimony be considered evidence in the punishment phase. And with that, Your Honor, defense will also rest.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm granting that request, and as the state resubmitted their evidence, you are and are instructed to reconsider Charles Beltran's testimony on direct and cross-examination in its entirety as evidence in the punishment phase.
Judge, and Detective Ramirez's testimony as well.
All right, you will also consider Detective Ramirez's testimony in its entirety as well.
Thank you, Judge.
And the defense rests?
Yes, Your Honor.
What says the state?
The state closes, Your Honor.
Sorry, I gotta put the volume up.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you will now hear all of the testimony you're going to hear in the punishment phase of the trial. The court has prepared the 2 court's charges to the jury in both cases. I will now read those to you, and then we will have arguments of counsel. And I will give each side 20 minutes.
Oh, they're gonna argue again.
With a 2-minute warning.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, wow.
Court's charge to the jury, members of the jury. The defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, was found guilty by you of the offense of murder. The court received and accepted your verdict of guilty, and you will no longer concern yourselves with the innocence or guilt of the defendant. You will now limit your deliberations under all the law and the evidence in this case to the question of punishment, which is now your duty to assess. Sudden passion. Our law provides that at the punishment phase of the trial, wherein the jury determines the punishment to be assessed in the case, the defendant may raise the issue as to whether she caused the death of Marisela Botello Valdez under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from an adequate cause. Having found the defendant guilty of murder as charged in the indictment, and the said defendant having raised the issue as to whether she caused the death of Marisela Botello Valdez while she was under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from an adequate cause, it now becomes your duty to decide such issue. The burden of proof on this issue is on the defendant. She must prove by a preponderance of the evidence that she caused the death of Marisela Botello Valdez while she was under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from an adequate cause. Adequate cause, as used herein, Adequate cause, as used herein, means cause that would commonly produce a degree of anger, rage, resentment, or terror
any person of ordinary temper, sufficient to render the mind incapable of cool reflection. Sudden passion means passion directly caused by and arising out of provocation by the individual killed, or another acting with the person killed, which passion arises at the time of the offense and is not solely the result of a former provocation. Preponderance of the evidence means the greater weight of the credible testimony. Now, if you find and believe by preponderance of the evidence that the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, on or about the 5th day of October 2020 in Dallas County, Texas, caused the death of Marisela Botello-Valdez while the defendant was under the immediate influence of a sudden passion arising from an adequate cause, you will answer the issue on the verdict page, yes. If you find and believe from the evidence that the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, did cause the death of Marisela Botello-Valdez, but the defendant was not under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from an adequate cause, or if you find the defendant has failed to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that she caused the death of Marisela Botello-Valdez while under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from an adequate cause, then you will answer the issue on the verdict page, no. The jury's answer on the sudden passion issue submitted must be unanimous, either yes or no. In the event you answer the issue submitted yes, that the defendant did cause the death of Marisela Botello-Valdez while under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from an adequate cause, then you will assess the defendant's punishment at confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for any term of not less than 2 years, nor more than 20 years. In addition, a fine may be imposed not to exceed $10,000. In the event that you answer, in the event you answer the issue submitted no, that the defendant did cause the death of Marisela Botello-Valdez, but was not under the influence of sudden passion arising from an adequate cause, you will assess the defendant's punishment at confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for any term of not less than 5 years, nor more than 99 years or life. In addition, a fine may be imposed not to exceed $10,000. The range of punishment. I'm going to remove this paragraph before I give the jury the instruction because that's superfluous on page 3. All right. Evidentiary instructions. You are instructed that in assessing the defendant's punishment, you may take into consideration all of the facts and evidence admitted before you in the full trial in this case, and the law submitted to you in this charge, and the charge heretofore given you by the court. Extraneous offenses or other bad acts. You are instructed that if there is any testimony before you in this case regarding the defendant having committed offenses or bad acts, other than the offense of which you have found the defendant guilty, you may not consider such evidence unless you find and believe beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant committed such offenses or bad acts, if any. The burden is upon the prosecution to prove such extraneous offenses or bad acts beyond a reasonable doubt. The prosecution's proof must exclude all reasonable doubt concerning the extraneous offense or bad act. Therefore, if you find and believe beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant committed an extraneous offense or bad act, then you may consider such evidence in assessing the defendant's punishment. If you do not so find, or if you have a reasonable doubt as to whether the defendant committed an extraneous offense or bad act, then you may not consider such evidence, if any, in assessing punishment. Fifth Amendment right. Our law provides that a defendant may testify in her own behalf if she elects to do so. This, however, is a right accorded a defendant, and in the event she elects not to testify, that fact cannot be taken as a circumstance against her. In this case, the defendant has elected not to testify in the punishment phase, and you are instructed that you cannot and must not refer or allude to that fact throughout your deliberations or take it into consideration for any purpose whatsoever as a circumstance against her. Instruction regarding parole. The length of time for which a defendant is imprisoned may be reduced by the award of parole. Under the law applicable in this case, if the defendant is sentenced to a term of imprisonment, the defendant will not become eligible for parole until the actual time served equals 1/2 of the sentence imposed, or 30 years, whichever is less. If the defendant is sentenced to a term of less than 4 years, the defendant must serve at least 2 years before the defendant is eligible for parole. Eligibility for parole does not guarantee that parole will be granted. It cannot accurately be predicted how parole law might be applied to this defendant if sentenced to a term of imprisonment, because the application of the law will depend on decisions made by parole authorities. You may consider the existence of the parole law. You are not to consider the manner in which the parole law may be applied to this particular defendant. Conclusory instructions. You are further instructed that your verdict must be unanimous and shall be arrived at by due deliberation and not by drawing lots or any method of chance, nor shall you add any combination of figures and divide the answer thereto. You are the exclusive judges of the facts proved, the credibility of the witnesses, and the weight to be given the testimony, but you are bound to receive the law from the court, which is herein given you, and be governed thereby. During your deliberations in this case, you must not consider, discuss, or relate any matters not in evidence before you, nor should you consider or mention any personal knowledge or information you may have about any fact or person connected in this case, which is not shown by the evidence. You are instructed that any statement of counsel made during the course of the trial or during argument not supported by the evidence, or statements of law made by counsel not in harmony with the law as stated to you in the court in these instructions, are to be wholly disregarded. You are instructed not to use any cellular device, smartphone, computer, or tablet during your deliberations. If you have a verdict, or if you wish to have a break, turn on the red light and the bailiff will quickly respond. And it will be signed by me, Nancy Holder, Judge.
No, I'm like lost. I mean, I understood like the sudden passion thing. Like the minimum should get minimum of 2 years or something like that. That would be wild. I don't know.
Court's charge to the jury. Members of the jury. By your verdict, you have found Lisa Jo Dykes, the defendant, guilty of the offense of tampering with physical evidence as charged in the indictment. The court has received and accepted your verdict of guilty, and you will no longer concern yourselves with the innocence or guilt of the defendant, and shall now limit your deliberations under all the law and evidence in this case to the question of punishment, which is now your duty to assess. Just notice the typo.
Yeah, I've never seen stuff like this before.
The punishment for tampering with physical evidence is confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term of not more than 20 years nor less than 2 years. In addition, you may impose a fine not to exceed $10,000. You are further instructed that in determining the defendant's punishment, you may take into consideration all of the facts shown by the evidence submitted before you in the full trial of this case and the law submitted to you in this charge. The sentence that is assessed must be either served or probated, and the jury may not provide that a portion of a sentence be served and the balance probated. You are instructed that the court will determine the terms and conditions of community supervision, if any, and may, at any time during the period of community supervision, alter or modify those conditions. Fifth Amendment right. Our law provides that a defendant may testify in her own behalf if she elects to do so. This, however, is a right accorded a defendant, and in the event she elects not to testify, that fact cannot be taken as a circumstance against her. In this case, the defendant has elected not to testify in the punishment phase, and you are instructed that you cannot and must not refer or allude to that fact throughout your deliberations or take it into consideration for any purpose whatsoever as a circumstance against her. Community supervision. In this case, the defendant has filed an application in writing under oath stating that she has never before been convicted of a felony and has requested that the imposition of any sentence imposed be suspended and that she be placed on community supervision. Community supervision means the placement of a defendant by a court under a continuum of programs and sanctions with conditions imposed by the court for a specified period during which a sentence of imprisonment, fine, or imprisonment and fine is probated and the imposition of a sentence is suspended in whole or in part. Supervision officer means a person appointed or employed to supervise defendants placed on community supervision. Our law provides that if you find the defendant has never before been convicted of a felony in this case, in this or any other state, and you assess the defendant's punishment at confinement for a term of not more than 10 years, you may recommend that the defendant be granted community supervision. If you recommend in your verdict that the defendant be granted community supervision, then the law requires the court to place the defendant on community supervision. If the defendant is placed on community supervision, the court shall determine the conditions of community supervision and may, at any time during the period of supervision, alter or modify the conditions. The court may impose, but is not limited to, the following conditions. A. Commit no offense against the laws of this state or any other state or of the United States. B. Avoid injurious or vicious habits. C. Report to Community Supervision and Corrections Department as directed by the judge or the Community Supervision Officer and obey all rules and regulations of the Community Supervision and Corrections Department. D. Permit the Community Supervision Officer to visit her at her home or elsewhere. E. Work faithfully at suitable employment as far as possible. F. Remain within a specified place, to wit, Dallas County, Texas. G. Pay the fine, if one is assessed, and all court costs, whether a fine be assessed or not, in one or several sums, and make restitution or reparation in any sum that the court shall determine. H. Support her dependents, if any. I. Submit to testing for alcohol or controlled substances. J. Submit to electronic monitoring. K. Participate for a time specified by the court in any community-based program, including a community service work program. Whether you do or do not recommend community supervision for the defendant is a matter that rests within the sound discretion of the jury. However, if you do recommend community supervision, the court is required by law to follow the jury's recommendation.
I never heard somebody get so many options.
Parole law in this second jury charge is the same as in the first.
Damn.
The law regarding extraneous acts and the concluding instructions are also the same.
Damn, bro. 100 options, 100 ways to get out of this shit. 2 years, community service, go to work while whatever. We watch you.
In the tampering with physical evidence case, the jury forms read as follows. We, the jury, having found the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of the offense of tampering with physical evidence as charged in the indictment, assess her punishment at confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for blank. There, your presiding juror will fill in a minimum of 2 years and any number up to, including 20 years. And there is an option, in addition thereto, assess a fine in the amount of anywhere from $0 but not to exceed $10,000. Or We, the jury, having found the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of the offense of tampering with physical evidence as charged in the indictment, assess her punishment at confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for, and there's a blank for the presiding juror to put in a minimum 2, but no more than 10 years. And we, the jury, having assessed the punishment of the defendant at not more than 10 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and having further found she has never been convicted of a felony, we do recommend that the imposition of her sentence be suspended and she be placed on community supervision. In addition thereto, we assess a fine in the amount of blank, anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. And there is a spot, we further recommend that the fine be
dropped.
Here you would put paid, probated, or not applicable. And there are spaces for the presiding juror to sign his or her name. Now, going back to the punishment verdict in the murder case, I'm going to go over the verdict forms with you. Verdict form on sudden passion. The first one reads, we, the jury, having heretofore found the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, guilty of the offense of murder as charged in the indictment, further find and believe by a preponderance of the evidence that the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, caused the death of Marisela Botello while the defendant was under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from an adequate cause, and therefore unanimously answer the issue, yes. Or, we, the jury, having heretofore found the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, guilty of the offense of murder as charged in the indictment, do not find and believe by a preponderance of the evidence that the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, caused the death of Marisela Botello while the defendant was under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from an adequate cause, and therefore unanimously answer the issue, no. The last verdict, is this the last one? No, we've got 2 more.
Oh.
Verdict form, finding sudden passion. We, the jury, having heretofore found the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, guilty of the offense of murder as charged in the indictment, but further find from a preponderance of the evidence that such offense occurred while the defendant was under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from adequate cause, assess her punishment at blank, no more than 20 years or less than 10 years. Confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and a fine of anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Verdict form, finding no sudden passion. We, the jury, having heretofore found the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, guilty of the offense of murder as charged in the indictment, and not having found by a preponderance of the evidence that such offense occurred while the defendant was under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from adequate cause, assess her punishment at blank. Here you can put life or not more than 99 years or less than 5 years. Confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and a fine of blank anywhere from $0 to $10,000. Under each of these verdict forms is a place for the presiding juror to sign and print his or her name.
They got a bunch of get out of jail free card options, and then there's one option where it's like full responsibility.
Counsel will stay open.
Not sudden. And now we still got to listen to 20 minutes of argument committee. Man, I didn't know they did it like this.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, before we really go in, you hear a whole lot. You're going to have these back there with you, these jury charges, right? That's a whole lot you just heard, and some of it I don't think we covered nearly as much in jury selection. But we talked a lot about the punishment, right? Having that tool bag, right? That's the way Texas law works. It provides jurors with a tool bag, and you've got a wide range. And the reason for that is we allow the jury to assess punishment and give you all the tools because you don't know anything, and that way you can go back there with every single tool available, right? The law allows things like sudden passion to come in whenever the defense requests it, and there's any evidence, whether it's credible or not, okay? And we know it's not her, okay? So you'll be able to read back over that. I'm going to cover something on sudden passion, but I just really want to make sure that you understood the verdict forms. So when you flip back to those verdict forms, when we're talking about the murder case, you have the sudden passion verdict forms first, okay? You can, when you don't find sudden passion, you're going to skip right over that first part. And you're going to say, on that next part, there, right there, no to sudden passion, okay? Once you do that, you come back to the very end, and that's where you're assessing punishment between 5 and 99 or life. I'll say on both of them, there's a $10,000 fine that's optional. There's no need to worry about that. It doesn't go to the victim's family. It doesn't go to anybody like that. So there's no need to concern yourself with any kind of fine. Okay? But you have that full tool there if you need it. When we're talking about the tampering charge, again, it gets a little confusing because, like we talked about in jury selection, tampering is 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison, and that if someone's never been convicted of a felony, now you've got probation as an option as well. You're not going to ever get to probation in this case. But it's there as a tool to consider. And so you have one there on the first form. That's where you're going to stop. That's where, if you're just assessing prison time, not probation, it's that first page. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about sudden passion. We got brought up just briefly in jury selection, and not something I touched on really at all, because it's not really a credible thing in this case. Right? The key component here in sudden passion is adequate cause. You heard that read, right? It's cause that would commonly produce a degree of anger, rage, resentment, terror, in a person of ordinary temper, right? You all, the ordinary person, sitting in this jury box, sufficient to render your mind incapable of cool reflection. So apply that to this case. Someone of ordinary temper, you all, in their shoes, right? That you're married in an open marriage, in an open relationship with a boy toy that lives in another bedroom that you know is constantly out with other women, and that you go from your bedroom all the way to a kitchen and you get a knife and you come in while they're asleep and not doing a thing.
There's no evidence that she ever went to no kitchen.
Overall, the jury will recall the testimony as they heard it.
Maybe she sleeps holding a knife. Where did she get the knife? She goes and gets a knife and comes into two people asleep, climbs on top of one, and stabs her to death. Sudden passion is absolutely ridiculous and offensive. I think you all know that. We talked in jury selection. Why do we punish? I heard a lot of answers from this group. Not everyone. But I know you all wrote it down. I know you all thought about it. Think about it again. Why? We talked in jury selection, right? Should a sentencing verdict on punishment take the victim into consideration? Why? And many of you said yes. You should. Now you understand why. That someone like Marisela Botello, nowadays, 23-year-old young woman, can take a brief vacation to Dallas, go out to Deep Ellum, and never make it home. A completely innocent person who had so much life to give, who had goals, who was working, who had a family that loved her, who will never see her again.
That was a good comeback, right?
Who didn't even get a proper burial of their daughter. Why? Because on Post Oak Road in Wilmer, just south of Dallas, someone catching feral cats finds her skull because this defendant threw her out like trash. She had to be laid on an autopsy table like this. That's why we take that into consideration. Because that's what she was capable of doing. That's what Lisa Dykes did. And then on top of all of that, hoping that no one ever finds her, knows that when she gets in trouble, right, rushes. She sees her wife arrested. Sees her wife arrested in Miami. Takes off to Orlando and texts her son Kyle, same one she tells don't show up because of that subpoena. This is my burner. I'm turning off the other so it doesn't ping. Text Charles, love her, right? I'm trying to get the money off of Nina. I need to get out of here. Someone who's cold and calculated to the point that she makes the bond and tampers with that ELM to the point that it doesn't even send a tamper notice, had created an LLC, applied for a lost passport, and makes it all the way across the world. What is that worth? To do all of those things, what is that worth here in Dallas County? Ladies and gentlemen, I know you will go back there and do the right thing. No doubt of that. This family deserves justice. This county deserves justice. Lisa Dykes deserves justice. So go back there and render that justice.
Okay. I like that time better than the other one when he spoke. Quick, witty comeback, Pete. Snap back.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking time to serve as jurors. Without you, this system does not work. Won't quarrel with your verdict. I understand you've made your decision, and because you've made your decision, you're still obligated to follow the law. Now, your decision was obviously made based on the testimony of Charles Beltran. You found him credible. You found what he said about what happened to Marisela credible. That this was a vicious murder that happened over in Mesquite. But more importantly, what he told you and what the detective said he told them, she was jealous, she was obsessed. That's the evidence that you believed. That's the evidence that you found credible from the witness stand. Yeah, that this was a crime of passion. We submit to you it's sudden passion. Based on everything that you've heard from Mr. Beltran, what did he tell you about her condition? Because you believe him. Now you have to apply the law to what he said, that this was a crime of rage. This was a crime of resentment. This was a crime of anger. That's what he told you. That's what led you to believe that she was a murderer. But the circumstance in which she caused that murder, again, because he's saying she's obsessed with him. And it's not just that once again he has a girl in the house. She just spent all this money taking him and his friends to Arkansas for the show, paying for the band. She's had plastic surgery, facelifts. She's done all these things, according to him, because she's obsessed with him. She's jealous. That's what they're saying. This crime happened because she's jealous. That's what they've all said from the beginning. Now they want to run from it because the law says if there was an adequate cause, if they're based on resentment, anger, that's what he told you happened. That's what he told you. She was out of control to the state where he had to slam her up against the wall to shake her out of it. That's sudden passion. She's out of control. Anger, rage, resentment. How dare y'all be in here again? I just did all this for you. That's what he said. That's the evidence you found credible. That's sudden passion. That's sudden passion. The adequate cause is, again, everything that she did for him during that period of time. Everything that she was doing. The cars, the tattoos, all these things that she's doing, and you're still bringing women over here. So it wasn't just about the women, it was about everything that made her and all these other women that they drug in here obsessed with him. That's sudden passion. Told you, I never seen her act like that before. Never seen her act like that before. She doesn't have a history of violence. Never seen her act like that before. For some reason, she lost it that night. That's sudden passion. That's what you heard from the witness stand. Remember, after he slams her against the wall to shake her out of it, he says what? She was in a daze. She was in a daze.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, JPC.
She's in the days.
Thank you for the memberships, both of you.
What did I do? What have I done? That's sudden passion. That's our law. You can't disregard it just because they say you should disregard it. That's what they were going on. That was the whole theme of the case, that she did this old woman dealing with this young boy is now jealous because he continues to bring young women to her house where she's taking care of him. That's what this whole case was about. Now they want to run from it? Can't run from the law. She knows that now. You know that. It's right here. It's right here. And again, it's not about, well, we're in the punishment phase. It is about sympathy. It is about, punishment. But at the end of the day, you have to apply the law that you said was credible. You said that Charles Beltran was credible when he gave the final version that he gave. When the detectives told you that, he said she was jealous. He told you she was jealous. He went further to say, not just jealous, obsessed. Obsessed. Never seen her like that. Snap out of it. What did I do? That's sudden passion. And I'm going to ask, I'm not going to address the tempering. I mean, you said, because at the end of the day, you as a juror, which we told you during voir dire, you determine how much weight you give every evidence, you determine what's credible. Based on your verdict, you've said that you believe that they tampered with the body. I don't have any quarrel with that, ladies and gentlemen. All I'm asking you to do is continue to follow the law. And the law and the evidence in this case dictate that this was a crime of passion, that it was sudden passion, something that she wouldn't ordinarily have done in her 60 years. It's sudden passion, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to ask that you find her guilty, or you've already found her guilty, but we're going to ask that you punish her in accordance to the jealous rage, the anger, the resentment that she displayed on the night this happened, based on the testimony that you have rendered credible from Mr. Beltran. And we thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Hey. So, I guess we'll do a poll.
You have 14 minutes. Thank you.
Oh, shit, they got a rebuttal too? They got like a whole nother trial.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, there are some crimes that are committed. They're so cold and callous in the nature and the way that they were committed, and so sinister in the character and human nature that was required to commit that crime, that it deserves a maximum punishment. A maximum punishment, and that, in this case, is life. I'm sure, there are hundreds of murders committed each year, and the way that Mr. Harris described the sudden passion law and tried to explain it to you is if you were angry and in a rage, you could kill someone and get lesser sentence. And that's just not the case. Read the actual sudden passion law, and it's very specific in its requirements. A cause that would commonly produce a degree of anger, rage, resentment, or terror in a person, right there, of ordinary temper. Of ordinary temper. Okay? Miss Dykes is not a person of ordinary temper. Miss Dykes found out in an open relationship that her wife slept with Mr. Beltran, already knowing that that had happened, and said, I'm going to make her my bitch. That's not a person of ordinary temper. Sufficient to render the mind incapable of cool reflection. As Mr. Brown pointed out, unless she is sleeping with a knife and always ready to commit murder, that's not what happened here. She was in her bedroom. I'm sure she heard Mr. Beltran, Chuck, and Marisela come into the house, go into his room, I'm sure she heard the music, maybe some laughing, maybe some other things, and she waited that entire time until the noise was gone and there was no more music and she knew they were asleep, and she knew that was the time that she could go in there and make her point to Chuck that he belonged to her. That's not sudden passion. So just put that out of your mind. As I said to you before, some crimes themselves are of such a sinister and cold nature that they deserve a maximum sentence of life. And then when you take into account this family over here and the pain and suffering that they had to go through every day, hoping, praying on their knees to God, please let her come home. Luis misses his big sister that was there for him, the one person in that household that was his age that he could talk to, that he could bounce stuff off of, that taught him to achieve more, to strive harder, to graduate from school, to get yourself a degree or a trade, go to trade school, do something with yourself. She's gone because this woman right here wanted to be in control. Marisela never even met her. She never had a chance because she was asleep when she came in that room and stabbed her with that knife. That crime right there deserves life. But that's not even it. You heard her testifying guilt, innocence. Now, I didn't expect her to admit to anything. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But the callous nature with which she talked about Marisela, just like she was just anybody. Just a nobody. Just a nobody. And the fact that she sat up there, she's been manipulating people for years now. Manipulating the system, running, using her knowledge of the legal system, not for good, not to help, but to save her own self. And to watch her sit up there and try to manipulate you all and everyone else in this room and every member of the community that's watching this just tells you what kind of person Lisa Dykes is. That's the kind of person there's no rehabilitation for. There's no need for rehabilitation for Miss Dykes. It's just not necessary. She had all the tools to do the right things in life and to lead a good life without murdering an innocent 23-year-old. Send her a message. Let her know. Let the citizens of Dallas County know, and that family, let them know with your verdict of life in prison what Marisela means and what her life means. Thank you.
Good.
All right, thank you, Ms. Pittman. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will retire to consider your
Other deliberation
punishment verdicts in each case. I made this correction and reprinting the tampering with physical evidence punishment charge. I see that some of you have your notes. As you know, you need to leave them in your chairs before you go back and begin your deliberations in punishment. It is up to you to decide how long you...
Could sudden passion be argued? She snapped, went to a rage? Or no? Premeditated.
Alternates will, of course, have to wait in Judge Bennett's jury room. All right. You will now retire to consider your punishment verdict.
All right. Forward!
You can go ahead and take it, and I'll hand it to you back then.
Anna. I don't know, Anna, man. It's just kind of... I'm very, very happy about the verdict. The Rack, thank you so much for the membership. Southern Gal. I think you were right about crazy people. They need to be chipped. Oh, yeah, I forgot we talked about that. They need to be chipped, especially if we lose the choppers. It's so true. That might be more efficient, actually. Southern Gal, thank you for the super chat as well. It says, oh, have mercy, let us pray. Nope, seriously. So thank you for the coverage on this case. Thank you. I appreciate you riding out with us. JPC, thank you so much for the 5 membership gifts. That's really dope. Cool. Faith Fit Fun, thank you for the membership. And the rack, I got you. There's somebody else that sent gifts. Why did it disappear from here? Let me check the YouTube studio. Just want to thank them again. Where did it go? JPC. Oh, I don't see it. I thought there was 2 people that gifted. Maybe I'm seeing things, hallucinating. I don't think it's gonna take long either. I'm thinking they'll go back there and they'll just. So what BL was saying, if they find sudden passion, anything between 2 to 20 years, and if they don't, anything between 5 and 99 years. So the judge decides the years, I guess. Oh, the rack. Awesome. Thank you. This is Bill's other daughter. Well, bless you guys. I appreciate the support from like years ago. Seriously, this thing's been such a crazy, wild ride. I was glad that I was able to do that Bill story too and talking to you guys, because I got a lot of people wondering about that whole situation. I wondered if it'll come back up with Nina's trial. I don't think Nina's trial are probably going to go that deep, but. Getting crazy out there in California. I don't know. I guess people are still. Maybe this was from the earlier riots and stuff. Did they run somebody over? Maybe somebody got their foot ran over. Yeah, I just, for safety too, I don't recommend standing in front of moving vehicles and like trying to like. I just wouldn't assume people are gonna stop, especially with all the crazy stuff that's going on right now in society. Like I wouldn't jump in front of a vehicle and just assume that they're gonna stop. I mean, I don't know. Lisa elected to have the jury decide. Interesting. Yeah, Nina's trial in February. Yeah, I have to be careful with what I show because YouTube's gotten really strict. So with certain violent things, like if somebody's actually having a fist fight, you can't really show that anymore. I've gotten in trouble for that. And this one, I think somebody, yeah, what happened was this lady stood in front of a car. I can post the link. If you guys have Discord, follow me on Discord or whatever. I can post it on Discord. Or I can even post the video on Discord. YouTube has like these strict violations. You know, when I was covering the Johnny Depp trial, I almost lost my channel. I had 2 strikes. That was really wild. So, you know, they got these new rules and stuff. You gotta follow the rules, play nice. But see if I can post this on Discord. I'm not sure why. I mean, I understand, especially the young people. They're doing all this stuff on the street, and they're trying to. They want to do their cause and stuff, but I'm not exactly sure why somebody would jump in front of a moving vehicle thinking they're going to stop. I'll put it on Discord. Okay. All right, I just dropped it on Discord. A vegan activist was run over on purpose by a trucker. Maybe some people are thinking about like they could sue or something. Like they'll put their lives at risk and figure like maybe they can get a lawsuit and get a bunch of money or whatever. What about the Crumley's parents' trial? I don't know. Let me see. I heard people saying there was something today, but 6 hours ago. Teen faces victims. Mother of teenager killed in Oxford school shooting says her daughter became. A couple of days ago, they had the sentencing for Ethan, but oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, we can watch this for a little bit while we wait. Watch live. Michigan versus James Crumley and Jennifer Crumley. All right, let's check this out. While we wait, I guess. So Ethan Crumley got a life sentence from what I'm hearing. I don't know if I should do that or... I have the other screen in the background with the audio on so we don't miss it. So they just had a hearing. That's James. No audio. Pretty short hearing, I guess.
Probably case number.
There we go. There they are.
Your Honor, calling People versus James Crumley, case number 222799989FH. Calling People versus Jennifer Crumley, case number 222799990FH.
Good morning, Your Honor. Marielle Lehman on behalf of James Crumley.
Good morning.
Hi, Judge. Good morning. Anjali Prasad standing in for Shannon Smith today on behalf of Jennifer Crumley.
Good morning.
Karen McDonald on behalf of the people.
Thank you, Mark Keith, on behalf of the people.
Good morning. You may be seated. My understanding is that we're here today pursuant to a motion filed by the prosecution with regard to potential client waiver form. The brief in support is labeled former client safeguards. And there was also a former client waiver form produced by the prosecution. Neither of the defendants objected to that form or to the contents of the brief. I then reached out to all parties and asked that each attorney on each case discuss what was in the prosecutor's brief with regard to former client safeguards, discuss any questions either the clients might have, and additionally talk about the former client waiver form and request that the clients sign that. So do we think that's been accomplished?
It has, Your Honor. I have spoken with Mr. Crumley. He did sign the waiver, Your Honor.
Okay.
Same, Your Honor. Ms. Crumley has signed the waiver.
All right. Well, I'm going to inquire of each of the defendants, and the defendant in each case separately. All right.
Your Honor, is it okay if Mr. Crumley sits because of the hearing device?
Yeah, I think that there's some, he gets some static if he moves.
Correct,
right?
Your Honor.
Mr. Crumley, are you able to hear right now? I know that we've kept that device, so I know that that's helped you in the past.
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So I guess I'll start with you. Mr. Crumley, could you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. And would you state your full name?
James Robert Crumley.
And Mr. Crumley, have you been able to review the content of the motion filed by the prosecution with your attorney, Ms. Lehman?
The document?
Well, the
Yes.
the document and what it addresses.
Yes, I have.
And have you had the opportunity to discuss the issues raised in that document with your lawyer?
We have. There are no issues.
Okay. And do you understand the purpose behind the document?
Yes.
Okay. And do you need the opportunity to discuss that any further with your attorney?
I have.
Okay, you have discussed it with
I
her.
have. I've discussed everything with my attorney and we're good.
Okay. The whole point of this is to not just protect your rights, but to address any potential appeals that would happen in the future. All right. It's obviously trying these cases is going to be monumental. It's going to take a lot of effort by everyone involved. So we would like to do it right. Right. So in order to protect your rights, I'm going to ask you all the questions on the former client waiver form and ask you to answer those. All right. Mr. Crumley, can you tell me how old you are?
47.
Can you read, write, and understand the English language?
I can.
Could you hear and understand? Can you hear and understand me?
Yes, I can.
Could you hear and understand your attorney, Ms. Lane?
I could.
Are you satisfied with her advice?
What was that?
Satisfied. Are you satisfied with Ms. Lehman's advice?
Yes.
And you understand you're charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter.
I understand them.
All right. And do you understand that you have the right to conflict-free representation?
I do.
Although there were formerly, there formerly was joint representation in this case, as you know. Do you understand that attorney Shannon Smith now only represents defendant Jennifer Crumley?
Yes.
And you also understand that attorney Mariel Lehman now only represents you?
Yes.
Do you understand that your own interest and your co-defendant's interests may be or have already become materially adverse?
Yes.
Do you understand that both your attorney and your co-defendant's attorney have indicated there is now a conflict of interest between you and your co-defendant?
Yes.
Although there are now separate trials, do you understand that your co-defendant is a former client of your attorney?
Yes.
Do you understand that the duty of confidentiality continues after the client-lawyer relationship has terminated, which means that your attorney still must protect the confidentiality of privileged information provided by your co-defendant?
Yes.
Do you understand that given the duties owed to former clients, your attorney may be limited in their representation? For example, your attorney may not be able to use privileged information obtained from your co-defendant to further your own interests?
Yes.
Do you understand that these limitations can affect things such as decisions relating to matters of trial strategy, for example, the presentation of evidence at trial, the examination of witnesses, the decision to call certain witnesses, potential negotiations in terms of a sentence agreement, and additionally arguments made at sentencing? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you consent to attorney Shannon Smith continuing to solely represent defendant Jennifer Crumley and attorney Mariel Lehman continuing to solely represent you?
Yes.
Have you had the opportunity to consult with your retained counsel as it relates to the issue of your representation?
Yes.
Do you understand that by entering this waiver, you will not be able to raise these issues in an appeal should you be convicted?
Yes.
And have you executed this form that was provided?
He has, Your Honor.
Okay. And you'll provide that to the
Mayor Beltran.
Sure. Thank you, Ms. Singh.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right. Any additional questions for Mr. Crumley that come to mind?
Not from the people. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Jennifer Crumley, could you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can put your hand down, and would you tell me your full name?
It's Jennifer Lynn Crumley,
And how old are you?
45.
Can you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
Can you hear and understand me?
Yes.
Could you hear and understand your attorney?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes.
You understand that you are also charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter?
Yes.
Do you understand you have the right to conflict-free representation?
Yes.
Although there was formerly joint representation in this case, do you understand that attorney Shannon Smith now represents you and only you?
Yes.
And that attorney Mariel Lehman now only represents defendant James Crumley?
Yes.
Do you understand that your own interests and your codependent's interests may be or may become materially adverse?
Yes.
Do you understand that both your attorney and your codependent's attorney have indicated that there is now a conflict of interest between you and your codependent?
Yes.
Although there are now separate trials, do you understand that your codependent is a former client of your attorney?
Yes.
Do you understand that the duty of confidentiality continues after the client-lawyer relationship has terminated, which means that your attorney still must protect the confidentiality of privileged information provided by your codependent?
Yes.
Do you understand that given the duties owed to former clients, your attorney may be limited in their representation? For example, your attorney may not be able to use privileged information obtained from your co-defendant to further your own interests?
Yes.
Do you understand that these limitations can affect things such as decisions related to matters of trial strategy? For example, how evidence is presented, what evidence can be presented, the examination of witnesses, the decisions to call or not call certain witnesses, potential negotiations in terms of a sentence agreement, and arguments made at sentencing?
Yes.
Do you consent to Attorney Shannon Smith continuing to solely represent you and Attorney Mariel Lehman continuing to solely represent Mr. Crumley?
Yes.
Have you had the opportunity to consult with your retained counsel as it relates to the issue of your representation?
I have.
Do you understand that by entering this waiver, you will not be able to raise these issues in an appeal should you be convicted?
Yes.
All right. And has your client executed the form?
I do have it. May I tender it to the court?
Please. Any further issues for the prosecution?
No, Judge, I believe that covers it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I would say that that's the only issue for today. But for the fact that I have a fourth amended final pretrial order that indicates that the prosecutor shall provide the defendant by December 11th, 2023, a list of witnesses the prosecuting attorney intends to produce at trial, and the defendant shall provide to the prosecutor by December 6th, 2023, their witness list. Is that been provided?
Yes, Your Honor.
It has, Your Honor.
Okay, because it has not been filed. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Could you tender a copy to the court? I'm trying to use that to determine how long the trial will go.
Sure.
Yes, Your Honor, we can do that.
How long do you think this trial will go?
2 to 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks. Okay, is that your guess?
Each, yes, I think
Each.
2 or 3 weeks each, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay, so I suppose the pretrial order doesn't say file it, but if you could provide it to us, I think that'd be helpful.
We can do that, Your Honor.
Absolutely, Judge.
Right.
I believe the next deadline is Monday for jury instructions.
Correct. I, at the moment, can't think of a good reason not to give a special jury instruction, but anything else right now?
Now from the people, Judge, you'll see that from a witness list we filed, I did communicate with defense counsel that includes a number of chain and foundation witnesses.
Okay.
I'll work with both counsel as far as stipulation.
Okay, good. Good. All right, well, I'll see you all on January 23rd, right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge.
All right.
Oh. I was listening on my phone. Generates wait there. I guess they have future dates. I was eating. And got the baby some food too. Okay. So we're still waiting. This has been an all-day thing. Oh shit. I can hear myself on my phone. I'm afraid to say. I ordered pizza. There was somebody mentioning that they were craving pizza, And so I ordered pizza. And so I had 2 slices. And it was funny because like I texted Maddie. It's wild to me that I can text my daughter. Like it trips me out. I don't know. It seems like abnormal to me. It's weird. It's just like I don't want to see that, man. I ordered pizza. Yay. I just remember she was like in her mother's stomach. It's wild to me that I can like, she's right there in the other room. And I text her. It's like, what the hell? It's like when my mother now, she sends me like OMG and LOL and like emojis. I'm like, what the fuck? It's so weird to me. Just Papa John's, pepperoni, and the garlic stick. And I'm gonna try not to touch it for the rest. Like that's it. Had some slices. If I could, damn, it's early though. If I could not eat for the rest of the night, I'll be good. Right? I can digest. I won't feel so bad. But knowing me, like, I mean, I could eat the whole pie if I really wanted to, but I step away. So yeah, I guess they're waiting for the sentencing. I mean, well, the decision. The parents, the Ethan Crumley thing, you know, they said that was kind of gonna set a precedence or something. Like now, like they can go for parents. Some people are really concerned, like they can go for parents. But the Ethan Crumley thing, we've covered it a couple times on the channel. Those parents really did neglect that kid, man. Like he was a troubled kid, almost like crying out for help. And what do? They put a gun in his hand. Let's go to the shooting range and let's go shoot guns. And allegedly bought him a gun for a present. Like, you know, it's just kind of like, I mean, I can see where the thing is kind of like a scary precedence, but at the same time, it's like, damn, yo, what the hell? What did Mo send me? Oh, good. I'm glad you clipped this, Mo. We can watch it right now. We download it.
And that you go from your bedroom all the way to a kitchen, and you get a knife, and you come in while they're asleep and not doing a thing.
There's no evidence that she ever went to no kitchen.
Overall, the jury will recall the testimony as they heard it.
Maybe she sleeps holding a knife. Where does she get the knife? She goes and gets a knife.
I really like that.
And comes in to two people.
I was kind of like, when I saw him do the I think it was the closing, when he started off with the closing, I was a little kind of like, I was underwhelmed a little bit. But I like that little quick, witty reply, which the his other partner bounced off of when she came back and mentioned it as well. I thought that was pretty dope. That was good. I'm really happy for the family. I mean, that years later, this can actually, you know, they can get their verdict and get some justice. I've never spoken with the family, but, you know, I've spoken to a lot of other people. This is like it's just a really, really good feeling and thing for these people. And I was concerned for a while too. I really was like, damn, I really was questioning, like, do they have enough to prove beyond reasonable doubt? But I also think sometimes too, people take beyond reasonable doubt like overly literal. Like you literally have to have a video of the murder being committed. There's trials that are just based off of circumstantial evidence. I was concerned with this. I think the biggest thing is the GPS, that literally the two phones were pinging in the area where the body was found. And part of the problem was how late the body was found, months after. And then Charles's testimony, though, he was a problem within himself because he is a liar. He's just a straight up liar. He is. I believed his testimony now, but it's like when somebody is just a constant habitual liar, it's hard to like finally take them for real. You know? He is a liar. I do see him as a guy that just likes to have fun, do his thing with women and stuff like that. Irresponsible, young guy, doesn't take care of his kids, somewhat in there. I mean, he's not like this saint either, but I really didn't see him killing Marisela. You know? He might be. B12 said Ethan seems happier being in the system. Oh, are you? Oh, so Scummer, are you for real? Scummer says you interact with family and me, so thank you. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it was, and you know, back then when I got that cease and desist, it was a little bit scary for me. I don't think it was my first time getting a cease and desist, but I was a little bit like, oh shit, when they sent it to me, you know, and I was kind of like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't talk about it publicly because I figured if I talked about it publicly, then I'm acknowledging that I got this thing, you know, right? Even though they had spelled my name wrong, they had the wrong address. But especially when you're smaller, you're kind of like, oh shit, like, people, you know, they're threatening me to take this video down or else they're going to sue me. And that all my information is like false, you know. They wanted to shut me up. And so to see this guilty verdict today is just like, oh, you did say that. Your first cousin, yeah. Okay, with Denensley. Okay. Amazing. There's people that I'm texting now that's talking with, I don't know how to probably say her name, Denensley. There's a few people that I was talking to that said they saw her at the trial. And, I know I definitely upset these people. Nina. I think probably more Nina. And the thing is, like, there's so much more to the story. You know, how did they clean up that house? Some people believe that like Kyle knows a lot. That's Lisa's like beloved child, firstborn child. Kyle has struggled in his life. Allegedly, he's had drug issues. Charles Beltran called him and Valerie, Kyle and Valerie drug at like junkies or something. I was like, damn. I was like, oh shit. You know, I don't know. There's just a lot more to the story, but of course, during a trial, only the relevant things that they deem relevant is going to come up. They're not going to be able to like go into in depth with everything, you know. So, but I didn't think I was going to see the day. Kind of like Layla Cavett, the witch doctor. Still waiting on that trial, you know. And it's kind of nice to be able to cover this. I wonder how many subscribers I had back then, but I was way smaller back then. It's kind of nice to be able to revisit this with a bigger following. And nobody covering it besides Fox 4, Dallas, and Brandy, another YouTuber, and then me. Nobody covering this shit. It's still wild to me because it's such a crazy story. And while I know there's people that care, it almost feels like nobody cares. Like, why isn't there a Law and Crime article? Why isn't there a News Nation article? Like, why isn't there all this shit for all these other people that I see all the time? You don't see it for this. You know, but I guess whatever, I guess. You know. He said junkies, right? Kyle didn't testify. No court TV, no law and crime. Yeah. So yeah, it's really, really nice to see this. That's weird to me. Yeah. But Cal F says I still don't understand who Chuck, or maybe meant to say how Chuck could go after the stabbing for a car wash. Well, I think it was an oil change, right? Or did he do a car wash? I think like the morning of, supposedly he went to go do like an oil change. I don't understand that either. That's what, like, I'm glad he testified. It's probably to save his own skin. I'm glad he testified, but I also can't overlook the stuff that he did to leave her like that, to leave her to die. A lot of this stuff wouldn't have been in question had he just called the cops in the moment or after or whatever, you know? And even like putting other people in danger, like literally bringing other women to his place and these other women are around. You would think he learned his lesson, but he didn't learn it. He did the same shit in Mexico, and then he goes to Miami and does the same shit. And that ride or die chick is still ride or die with him. BBL. You know? I don't know. Damn. I'm from DFW, but live in San Antonio. Never heard of this story. Yeah, I think Kyle doesn't want to take a stand against his mama. There was, I saw that in my own clip for the cease and desist. One part that I clipped is like Chuck was like he'd never had the things that Lisa was offering him. Like, yeah, there was like a pool and like all the, not a pool, a home. He said he'd never had a home before, like an actual house or something. She offered him a lot of the things that I guess he didn't have in life. I guess I should have put a timer for this. Guilty, yeah, guilty all charges. Now we're waiting on the sentencing. Sleep with a knife. I'm gonna post that on Twitter. Sleep with a knife. Let me show you this. This guy Phil Ross. I like his post on Twitter. Posted this earlier. A remix. Hey, is this shit not working? Close me, bitch. I told you don't do it, and you did it anyway. So I had to do what I needed to do. Oh my God. Pooped in your bed, under the sheet. Good luck, bitch. I'm out of here. Oh. I thought there was more though. I thought there was more to that song the lyrics that I did. Oh, I spelled attorney wrong. Oh, damn it. No. Oh well. Yeah, Heather says, I found out they got married, took his last name, loved Santa Muerte, then killed someone. It almost sounds planned. Oh, are they coming back? Tell me they're coming back. I don't know if it's just the judge walking in and just chilling, or they're actually back. Alicia says that Mel, Lisa might just try to invest in you. Maybe they're coming back. Let's see. Marry Nina. I said, where's that guy from earlier that was Team Lisa? I haven't seen him in hours. Well, it's past now. It's past the time that they usually call it for the day. It's 6 Eastern, which is 5 Central. Usually by this time they end it for the day. So I'm sure they'd probably just like to be done today. I don't know. Oh, I forgot. That was one of them. Oh yeah, yeah. It's funny they remember. I think I need to, update the dating list. Yeah. But probably trying to find out how to send commissary. That's the thing. Too much confirmation bias. I personally like to see the evidence. It is a thing that happens with people. I really think everybody should do jury duty at least once to know what it is, because it's so easy to just watch this stuff and not sit there during a trial. During a trial. That is funny, bro. Well, JD Wells was kind of interesting. I don't know if it's interesting or creepy, but somebody in the chat the other day told me they saw me at Publix. They said on Sunday they saw me, and I was there Sunday. I mean, I don't know. It could be nice, but it also could be scary. I don't know. I saw you Sunday evening. I just watched you while I was shopping. I don't know, man. Why are other streaming hosts here with their own channels live unprofessional? Does the judge think standing? Does the judge think that standing the jury will hurry up? Oh man, yeah, it's been a long day. It really has. A good day, but long day. I'm running on fumes right now. Like, when are they gonna end this shit? Yeah, I don't think it was anything bad, but yeah, somebody the other day, a couple of days ago, told me they saw me in Publix. I was like, oh shit. Oh, that's dope. That's cool. Yeah, the top chat thing is kind of annoying. All day thing. All day. I don't know if I'm going to do the Bryce Rhodes trial. I don't know about that because I feel like that's going to be open and shut. I want to see. I want to see what opportunities there is. I don't want to commit to something right now. Multitasking. I feel like this news channel is probably going to block me eventually, but they still haven't approved this video. Finally, at least the subscriber numbers are going up. That's good. I have a purple cushion thing on this chair that kind of helps out. It keeps sliding off the chair though, which I don't like. But cover Charles, so you work from home. My work from home day can be brighter. I have no idea yet what trial's next. It's kind of, I don't know, because Christmas is right around the corner. So I don't know. I'm not sure. All right, let me turn on the AC a little bit more. Judge left. I don't know what to think, man. Maybe. Let's see. Nice. Let's see what this is. Boyfriend sticks up for girlfriend. Karen's the Karen.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Why'd you punch my girlfriend?
I didn't. She
You have it on camera. You stuck your arm out.
I have it on camera.
I have it on camera, you dumb punch. You know what? I'll beat the out of you. You assault people? You're gonna punch my girlfriend? I got it on camera. You know what? I'm calling the cops. You don't move. I'm going. You punched her. You punched my girlfriend. Don't run away. You're gonna assault her.
Yeah, boy, ride or die. Okay. Where's the other? Oh shit. Karen almost got ran over.
Look at this lady over here recording me and shit. I'm driving. Look at this. This is crazy. I met my first Karen.
I just don't understand why I would not chance my life just standing in front of a vehicle.
Karen. I'm thinking if I should run her over, bro. Yo, lady, listen. I'm trying to tell you something. I put a package there. I couldn't reverse. I didn't know that. Put a sign right there that says, "Yo, no one should come into here." But I didn't know. Okay.
Damn. Shit.
I'm driving.
Wow.
I'm driving.
Bro.
I'm driving, lady. I'm driving, lady. What the fuck? What the
Wow. What? Wow. Not a video for this. Judge is back. Oh, they might be back finally. Okay. I was looking at some other videos to play. This was crazy, wasn't it?
Mr. Sadler, if you could bring the jury in, please.
Done in passion. All right, so let's Hopefully it's a good end to this. Oh, nice. I didn't see this. Cool. Charisma, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the 3. Yeah, I know. We gotta do another end of time stream sometime soon. I'll pre-screen the videos, make sure I can play them for YouTube. When I pre-screen, I don't listen to them. I just want to make sure there's not like physical violence because I like to try to have a natural reaction if possible. But we gotta pre-screen things now, I guess. Hold boy.
All right.
Mama 4, thank you for the super chat. Says Mel, thank you for going the distance. Yeah, we're here. We're here. Hopefully the judge doesn't need to deliberate on the years or whatever. They just decide.
You may be seated. The court has received your verdicts in punishment. All right, Ms. Dykes, please stand.
Okay, here we go.
The first verdict reads as follows. We, the jury, having heretofore found the defendant, Lisa Jo Dykes, guilty of the offense of murder as charged in the indictment, and not having found by a preponderance of the evidence that such offense occurred while the defendant was under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from adequate cause, assess her punishment at life in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and a fine of $10,000.
That's good, right? Life,
The
I think.
second verdict reads as follows. We, the jury, having found the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of the offense of tampering with physical evidence as charged in the indictment, assess her punishment at confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 20 years. In addition thereto, assess a fine in the amount of $10,000. Both verdicts are signed by the presiding juror. Mr. Harris, is there any reason in law why your client cannot now be sentenced?
There is not, Judge.
That it is the order and judgment and decree of the court in cause number F2175476, Lisa Jo Dykes, in conforming with the jury's verdict, I hereby sentence you to life in prison and a fine of $10,000.
Wow. Wow.
In cause number F2175651, tampering with physical evidence, I sentence you to 20 years in prison and a fine of $10,000. I order you taken by the sheriff and by her safely held until you can be transferred to an authorized receiving agent to begin your sentence in TDCJ. Ms. Dykes, I hope that you find that you've been treated with a much greater amount of dignity and respect than you ever treated Marisela Botello.
Ooh.
May God have mercy on your soul. That concludes this hearing. You may be seated.
Okay, very few words, but I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you so much for your jury service. This does
Whoa.
conclude your service. If you would retire to the jury room, I will come and give you my personal thanks.
That's it.
Answer any questions you may have. And I know for the young prosecutors, any tips or constructive criticism you may have for them is always helpful. And the defense may want to come and visit with you as well about their presentation. So I will see you in the jury room. What? Oh, I'll bring this back. Okay.
All right.
All aboard! That's it. Yeah, not much of a reaction from her, huh?
Oh, yes, yes. I'll come back. All right, yeah. Do you want to visit with them at all? Okay, and I don't know if they want to make it.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I see.
Valerie, I see you, Valerie.
I don't know.
I see you, Valerie. Bernice, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you for the 5.
Is there victim impact? Just one. Okay. I'm going to visit with them, let them go, and then we can do victim impact. Okay. Okay. All right.
So my friend says, yes, life is good. She has to serve 40 years before she's even eligible to apply for parole. That's it, Lisa. At 60, she ain't living more than 40. Wow. Damn, bro. Woo! Years in the making. Yeah, what happened to all the amazing. I'm really grateful to that Dallas for Fort Worth was streaming this, because there's no other channel. I'm really glad that they streamed this. No other news channel, not one other news channel was streaming this. New wives for her now. Somebody said new wives for her now. Flo Morena, thank you so much for the membership. 4 months. Thank you for resubscribing. Thank you, Mel and Maz, for sharing this with us. No, I don't think there's any. That's it for the. Wait, what? They're doing Impact after the what? No, wait, what? Hold on. Let me see. I thought that was it.
Thanks. Answer any questions you may have. And I know for the young prosecutors, any tips or constructive criticism you may have for them is always helpful. And the defense may want to come and visit with you as well about their presentation. So I will see you in the jury room. What? Oh, I'll bring this back. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, nothing about victim impact in this. What? No. Where did they say that? I'm listening. dude.
I'll put that. Do you want to visit at all? Okay, and I don't know if they want to make it.
Jessica, can you call her back?
Yeah, I assume if are they going to do victim impact statement? I don't know, I'm going to find out real quick.
Say, I don't know. I'm gonna find out real quick. Okay. Jeanette Sanchez, thank you for the super chat. Says thank you, Mel, for the stream. Marisela, may rest in peace. Thank you for the 5. Thank you. Keep listening. Keep listening. Okay.
Is there victim impact?
Just one.
Okay. I'm going to visit with them, let them go, and then we can do victim impact.
Okay, you guys are right. You guys are right. All right. Sarah, thank you for the super chat. Says you did the damn thing. Thank you so much. Thank you for riding with me throughout this trial. All right. Okay, you guys are right. Wait, but why'd the feed cut off? Did they not hear it? They cut it off. Uh-oh. Oh, they cut off the feed. Oh. Wow. Hey, are they back? No, they cut it off. Wow. Okay. I think maybe that person didn't hear it like me. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. They cut it off. Okay, what I'll do is if the live comes back, I'll keep an eye out. I'll come back. Yeah, they ended the live stream. They said there was going to be one more impact statement. The guy cut it off. I think he probably just didn't hear it because I didn't hear it either. You guys were telling me that they heard it. Man. I mean, I hope they either jump back on or at least record it. Somebody said that the guy's only paid for 8 hours, so he left. All right, I'm gonna call it for now. Because I'm tired, but I have my notifications turned on for this channel. If they come back on, I'll jump back on. I promise. I'll jump back on if they come back on. If not, I hope somebody records the impact statement so we can watch it at some point. All right. Thank you guys so much for everything. I'm a little tired. I'm gonna relax for a little bit, but yeah, if there's another thing, I'll come back. Love you guys. Bloop 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 bloop. Amazing. Justice for Marisela Botello. Peace.